Right, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching yet another review, day three to be particular, after India continue their dominance in Chattogram. I say that because, look, it was just a matter of time when they declare and how much they'd set Bangladesh. For all you guys joining and been living under a rock and not really following all things going on in Bangladesh, it stands like this. India, of course, getting a healthy lead. How healthy? 500 plus, 512, so 513 the target for Bangladesh, essentially. And they've gone about their business well so far, 42 for none at stumps on day three. So essentially, they have six more sessions to kind of make a meal of things. Remember, we've seen strange things happen in Chattogram not too long ago. That Kyle Mayer's knock comes to mind when he got, I think, 210 not out, chasing 395. I'm not saying Bangladesh will do that, but it's also a question of how fast India can get the job done against Bangladesh. In this review, we will be joined by in-house expert Somesh Agarwal and the man who was writing a piece, an analysis piece in terms of Anirudh Suresh. So we'll get them on board quickly. But having said that, all you guys need to start subscribing and liking our content because we're going to be doing lots of these kind of live shows where we take your questions and get interactive. Right. So without further ado, let me introduce the boys. One's in London, one's in Hong Kong. I'm in Bangalore. If you guys would know, you'd know. Guys, talk to me. So first, what impressed you the most? Was it Pujara getting to that three-figure mark after ages? I say ages because 2019 was his last time. Was it Shubman Gill and his maiden Test century? What really stood out for you, my friend?
Both of them. I mean, of course, Pujara not only reaching a ton after surpassing 50 in the last, 14 innings or not 40. Sorry, is not he did not reach the three-figure mark while he reached 15, 14 times since his last 100. So that was good, and not just that. I mean, this is his quickest 100. So I mean, uh, laying the talk of his strike rate to rest, which is a good thing. Of course, Shubman Gill, which is made with his maiden ton. We were on this very forum. We were discussing Shubman Gill day before and how his test average is not looking that great and not looking that great further in subcontinent. But again, a good knock. He was slightly scratchy to begin with. Shubman Gill, he survived a review as well. Uh, and he I think KL was much more assured than him to begin with, but then once he got set, he attacked well. That was a good thing. I mean, against pace, he was at some point of time. I think in the second session, he was striking at around 130, if I'm not wrong, against pace, which was a good thing. And pretty happy that India declared today, even though it did not get a wicket, but. Positive signs. And Bangladesh, I mean, after losing two bowlers, they were chasing the game anyway, and it just got deteriorated further for them with losing two bowlers. And India are just in the driver's seat, and it's a moment of time before India will be 1-0 up.
Yeah, you just felt today Bangladesh were kind of going through the motions, and we were, of course, bantering each other in terms of whether the declaration will come with that whole Dravid and Multan angle. And then we, of course, were also chuckling about the fact whether this was one of the boring test matches of 2022. Adira, tell me why that is the case, first and foremost, and then we'll come on to Shubman Gill and all of that in due course.
Why it was boring? I mean, I don't know. It was just a pretty uneventful match. All, if you look at it, except the one phase where Kuldeep was running through the Bangladesh batters, it was just felt like there was no life in the game. But you expect it. I mean, it's not unexpected because whenever a powerhouse plays a team which is struggling, you do see these kind of games unfold. But what was disappointing slightly was the lack of fight from Bangladesh with the bat. I mean, I don't think you can blame Bangladesh for what they've done with the ball. To be honest, they had a very good first day after losing the toss, and they kind of let it slip with the ball in the first session of day two, where Kuldeep and Ashwin had that huge partnership. But even then, if Bangladesh had added 250 or 245 or some respectable score, then this match would have had a bit more life. But the moment Siraj and Umesh picked those 3-4 top order wickets, it almost became a pre-decided outcome, and then we are just waiting, just running through the motions ever since to get to just make sure the match ends. So Yeah, I mean that's why I felt it was boring. But yeah, I mean we can come to Pujara because I have a lot of interesting numbers about his knock.
Yeah, we'll come to Pujara. We'll probably come to Pujara after Gill because already people are losing their shit in the comments, and I say that politely to Greg and SS98. And it's the inevitable question that we were asking each other at office as well. Who comes in once Rohit comes? We'll get that. But guys, Shubman Gill, 110 of 152. It's a little bit of an appreciation club going on for the next 2 minutes. Talk to me about how this guy can now cement his place like how Shreyas Iyer has in the test team. So we'll start with you and then we'll go to Anirudh, who critiqued him in his piece earlier on day one.
So one good thing was that Bangladesh were a pacer down and the ball was not moving at all. It was gun barrel straight. And I think Khalid Ahmed, he tried that short ball ploy early on. It worked in Gill's favor because again, like we mentioned in the discussion day before, Gill is not your usual subcontinent batter who struggles against the short ball. He loves it and he feasted on it. So yeah, I mean, obviously Gill has all the talent in the world to cement his place, but for now, I would want to see him, control his front foot play.
Yeah. I mean, it's vital that you say that. It makes me think if Shubman Gill is a perfect backup opener India have right now in terms of all three formats. I mean, maybe T20 is arguable, but ODI and Test certainly. Anirudh, what stood out for you in terms of Shubman Gill today? I know you wrote that piece about how he has been given good chances in the past and he's not really capitalized on it. He came so close, but so far to get that 100, he got that elusive maiden test done out of the way today. Is it now onwards and upwards for someone like him?
Uh, Hopefully, because the thing with Gill was that he was getting a lot of starts, but he was not converting it. So, from his point of view, it is great that he finally got the monkey off his back, which was a Test century. Uh, Prior to today, after the Gabba 91, his highest score was just 52, which means that he had batted nearly 10 plus tests, and his highest score was 52 in about 18, 19 innings, which is for a player of his talent, predominantly playing at home, by the way, or in subcontinent conditions, it is not great. And since I mean his record was, we're not uh, lying when we say that his record was poor heading into this innings today, because I think only Markram and one other opener had a worse record than him as an opener in the last 2 years. So, and he has his fair share of struggles against pace bowling as well. I think he averages still 23 or 24 against pace bowling in Test cricket. Like Somesh said, the fact that there was no Ebadath helped him, because he just had to contend with one pacer, and he also had a kind of a lucky break when Yasir Ali trapped him. It looked like Yasir Ali trapped him in front of the stumps, but DRS was not working, so it meant that Bangladesh were not able to review the decision. But fair play to Gill. He has made the start count for once. But that being said, he's a long way away from even cementing his spot or whatever. Rohit and Rahul have achieved far more, obviously in home and even in away. Let's not forget what Rahul has done in the last year. So what Gill needs to do, like you asked, to become a Shreyas Iyer, is that he needs to ensure that he makes every opportunity count, or at least do the best he can, get the odd 100, the 70, 80, like that. That's all he can do. And the way the injuries have been piling up, it looks like Gill will anyway become a first choice player, even if he's not a first choice player. So
Yeah,
that,
I was going to say that given how frequently Rohit Sharma is being getting, I mean, whatever absence that he's been stating off late, I mean, it gives the perfect chance for Shubman Gill. And we'll
I
just
think
take
for now, what
who
for
is this
what for
person
now
who
what
wants Anirudh, where's your long hair? So it's going to Tirupati Temple. We'll just come back to you. So 23 innings for a man to get his maiden test done. I think Anirudh hit the nail on the head. The fact that he's just not taking his chances. I mean, yeah, he had that worldie of a series against Australia, didn't convert big over there, but he must be kind of chuffed right now, right?
So, I mean, for now, what he's done is stabilized the opinion that he's at least the fixed backup opener as of now.
Hmm.
So he doesn't need to worry about that. I mean, see, these things happen. He's a young player. Like he's not a veteran who's like selected at a stage where he has had a significant A career or something like that. He's still a young player and he's learning. Plus, I mean, of course, this all format thing comes into the fray where he's also looking to cement his place in the ODI scheme of things. So a lot of different things, but the talent was always there. Good that he got that knock today. But to cement his place, a lot of sand and water yet needs to be added.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a while to go, and there's age on his side. So hopefully, it is onwards and upwards for Shubman Gill, like I said. Let's, of course, talk about Cheteshwar Pujara. Like so mentioned, one of the fastest test runs. And I mean, didn't come in a double digit sort of balls, but it still was 130 balls or something like that. What is this done? Because there was a time where people were questioning Pujara. He went back, he did the grind, went to, of course, play county cricket. I think that gave him a boost. Do you see him now play at least till this WTC cycle, guys, or do you think there's maybe a Mark III Pujara which is slowly brewing? One of you guys, any of you, Anirudh.
Yeah, I mean, fat play to Pujara again. Once again, the critic, basically the last 2 years or so, he's been averaging in the mid 20s, and one of the biggest criticisms was that he has lost his ability to accelerate. He has lost his ability to, even put away bad balls, and on we were hearing all those things, and to a certain extent, it was true at least against the good bowling attacks. He the kind of knocks he played were the knocks where he kind of occupied the crease for extended periods of time. He was not scoring, but he was grinding the bowling down, and it was like that. But yeah, today, I mean, what a knock! This is probably the best he's batted in at least 3 years, 3.5 years since his last stun. But again, the caveat is that it's come against a very weak bowling attack, which, mind you, did not have two frontline bowlers. But still, you can only beat what's in front of you. So, again, Pujara did a brilliant job. This was his fastest ever Test 100, by the way. And I'll let Somesh finish his point, and I will probably go through all the stats related to Pujara, which there are some crazy stats in this, which kind of tells you why this is like kind of the most un-Pujara knock you'll ever see. So yeah, Somesh, you can give your opinion
I
on.
mean, I don't have a lot to add here. I mean, majority of the times I've been a big Pujara fan. At times he has been frustrating with not adding enough shots when he needed to at a stage in his career. But I mean, him against spin is just another level. That's that's proper Test cricket for you, and India will definitely need him for the coming 5 tests. What I realized today is if you want Pujara to play a little more freely, maybe tell him that we are declaring in the next 15 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's food for thought that because I think we mentioned this even when he got that 90 odd in the first innings, potentially actually could be man of the match this test because he's accumulated the most runs so far 102 and 90. It made you think about what we said, right? So, I mean, we're looking at it from a cricket fan perspective, looking at how England go about their business with baseball. Is there still place for people like Pujara, especially in Test cricket, no matter how fast and rapidly the game is growing?
He averages 54 in Australia, somewhere around, I mean, along those lines. I'm pretty sure England will just give away baseball if someone from their 11 can average that much in Australia. So,
Come on, come on, Avnish. What kind of a question is that? Is that still place for someone like Pujara? Just because England have won 8 tests against like random opponents doesn't mean that.
No, I agree with you. Look, all I'm trying to say is that I know Rahul has been misquoted by a lot of the Indian press saying that India want to play baseball. It will definitely be situational cricket for India, and they'll always look like a team to get 250 for 3 for 4 at 80 overs. And Pujara is a large part of that. What I meant to say is essentially, do you need a glue like Pujara even in the next 4 or 5 years of Test cricket and how it's been played traditionally? You still do, right?
Honestly, it depends on the kind of wickets that will be laid out. If the kind of wickets we see are the kind of wickets we saw in the first test against between England and Pakistan, then no, you don't need a Pujara. But at the same time, if it involves grinding out, seeing off the first couple of hours, and then capitalizing on the once the ball gets soft and stuff, then definitely you need a Pujara. But yeah, there's always place in Test cricket for the people who accumulate runs. It's not always about scoring quickly or putting the pressure on the bowlers or anything. That's the beauty of Test cricket. There's no, Rahul said it in the press conference prior to the Test match, there is no set template of playing Test cricket, or there is no set template of batting in Test cricket. You do what's best for you, you do what's best suited for your side. And if India feel that uh, Pujara's style is benefiting the side, then sure, go ahead and play with 11 Pujaras. It doesn't matter actually.
Yeah, I just think he's just that insurance policy. You need one guy at the other end to set up shop. Pujara does that beautifully, and I don't know, maybe to the twilight end of his
But
career,
I mean,
he gets
and one minor point to add here. I mean, if you think about from a proper Test series perspective, a series that is of 4 and 5 games, I mean, therein the value of a player like Pujara becomes incremental, right? He's wearing the opposition bowlers down after 2, 3 tests. If he's faced like 600, 700 balls all by himself, that is going to take a toll on the opposition bowlers as well. And this is something that happened in Australia in the Brisbane Test when actually Australian pacers looked to be, they just ran out of gas. So I mean, there always has been a place for a player like Pujara in our Test team, and I think for a foreseeable future there still be.
Okay,
unless
cool.
and until we just start playing 4-day tests, and then I don't know.
No, I think fair points mentioned by all of you all. I mean, both of you all essentially. I think, what about those numbers which will please Pujara fans right now? Because you were hinting about it. What really strikes you the most?
I can just go through all the numbers. I mean, I'll be publishing actually a piece on all that. I'll just give away the numbers anyway. So today was the first ever time in his Test career that Pujara attempted a reverse sweep. It was a dot ball, but I mean, this is the most extraordinary thing that's happened. Before he attempted the reverse sweep, he had played 15,345 balls in Test cricket. And after 15,345 balls of not playing the reverse sweep, Pujara decided to play the reverse sweep today. That's a historic occasion in itself.
Has
And
Kohli ever played a reverse sweep?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I'm
In
not sure.
tests, I don't think so.
100%.
I've not seen him. Yeah, maybe.
So, and today, Pujara faced 104 balls of spin, and he scored 92 runs in those 104 balls, which was a strike rate of 88.46. This is the fastest he's ever scored against spin in a single innings. In matches where he's scored 25 or more runs against spin. His previous best was a strike rate of 86.67 that came against Australia and Delhi 9 years ago. So clearly, we are seeing almost Pujara free himself up and play a brand of cricket that we have not seen from him for a long time. Maybe people might have seen him live doing this in county cricket maybe a few months ago, but again, even there I'm not sure if he was this aggressive. Maybe in the Royal London Cup, but not in the county championship. Then one more thing is that we know Pujara loves to charge the ball and dance down the wicket, but he doesn't always attack, right? Pujara's always kind of dances down the wicket and uses the gap between mid on and mid wicket to collect a two, or he'll just block and unsettle the spinners. But he actually played a lot of lofted shots today while he gave the charge. So today when Pujara gave the charge, he had a strike rate of 120, which is the highest he's ever had in a single innings playing the charge. So it's clearly Pujara took his intent up by not just one or two levels, like more than that, 5-6 levels. And again, this was his best ever century in terms of strike rate, as in his fastest ever century, and he bettered it by 16 balls, which the previous fastest run of Pujara was against West Indies 9 years ago, which came in 146 balls. Today he scored his run in 130 balls. And yes, guys, this statistically is the most fluent Pujara innings since his last test run in Sydney, which came almost 4 years ago now, because the attack percentage of 43% was the highest and his dot ball percentage was also the lowest. So yeah,
So, basically, it's been Pujara's day out, Pujara's test to remember, Pujara's 2.0 beckoning, all those kind of things that you want to say. And maybe sometimes it's worked well, because if you rewind the clock a little bit to that England series away, I think Pujara and Rahane, lots of questions are asked to them. One bit the bullet, one went to England, got form, Royal One Day Cup, all of that, and of course, has flourished to come back to the best possible thing. Right, guys, we'll wrap up this little chat right now because day 3 is not really moved so much. Obviously, we've alerted you about the scores and all of that. There's lots to look forward to, like Anirudh's piece, and not to forget other things which are catching fire in the cricketing world. I just want to speak about this one bizarre thing that we've seen today, not the Pujara 100, not even Jagdishan and the lads scoring 107 overs, but 15 all out in a Big Bash League game. And I think that record belonged to what? Adelaide Strikers without Rashid Khan bowling a ball. What happened there, gents? Anirudh, I mean, you'll see it on the score.
I mean,
see, what happened there was the three of us went for a little game of TT, and when we came back,
15 all out. I mean,
yeah,
the hell?
no words after that.
Is this one of those? Is this one of those records which won't be broken ever? 15 all out. Surely even school cricket can't enact this. Anirudh?
I mean, yeah, 15 all out in a T20 match. It's just, I mean, my question is how. That is what I mean, how 15 all out. That's all I can think of. We have to probably.
There are 5 dismissals to caught keeper.
Wow.
I'm assuming Harry Nielsen was the keeper.
Adelaide, it wasn't Adelaide, right? Adelaide has struck again if that's the case, 36 all out and now 15 all out. So let's see if Sydney Thunder wear it like a badge and go on and win the, whole
BPL.
competition.
Yeah, guys, I mean, some crazy cricket we've seen throughout the year. This one maybe tops the list. Look, that's all we have time for in this shortened day 3 review with, of course, Somesh and Anirudh. Pretty much dominated by 2 men, Shubman Gill, and not to forget Cheteshwar Pujara, who stands in contention for arguably the man of the match in the first test. Hopefully, India get the job done on day 4, and we wouldn't have to go to a day 5 because we have team lunch as well. I've given something away which you guys should know of. So, Anirudh, thank you so much for your time. We'll catch you guys soon. Until the next time with them, it's a goodbye from all 3 of us. We'll see you gents soon.